Nature is incredibly generous, but it can also be unforgiving. For every edible wild plant growing around you, there is often a dangerous lookalike growing right beside it. And the difference between them could be the difference between a free meal and a trip to the hospital. In this video, I'm going to show you 5 dangerous plants that look like edible ones, and exactly how to tell them apart. This is one of the most important videos on wild table Africa. Let's get into it. Starting with the most common confusion in foraging, Catsear versus Dandelion. These two plants look almost identical at first glance. Both have bright yellow flowers. Both grow in lawns and grassy areas. Both are extremely common across Africa, but here's how you tell them apart. Dandelion has one single flower growing on one hollow stem. Break the stem and it releases milky white sap. The leaves are deeply jagged like lion's teeth growing directly from the ground. Catsear, on the other hand, has multiple flowers branching from the same stem. The stem is solid with no milky sap. The leaves are hairy and less deeply cut than Dandelion. Now, Catsear is not highly toxic, but it can cause digestive problems and is not recommended for eating. More importantly, confusing plants teaches bad foraging habits. Always check for the hollow stem and milky sap before eating any yellow wildflower. Next, stinging nettle versus wild mint. This is a mistake that can cause immediate pain. Both plants have opposite leaves growing in pairs on a square stem. Both grow in similar moist, shaded environments. And from a distance they can look very similar, but touch stinging nettle by mistake and you'll know immediately. Tiny hollow needles on the leaves inject formic acid into your skin, causing intense stinging, burning and rash that can last for hours. Here's how to tell them apart. Wild mint has smooth oval leaves with gently serrated edges and a strong refreshing minty smell. Crush a leaf. If it smells like mint, it's mint. Stinging nettle has deeply textured wrinkled leaves with very jagged serrated edges covered in tiny hair-like needles. It has no minty smell whatsoever. Always smell before you touch. Wild mint announces itself immediately. And if you're ever stung by nettle, crush a plantain or dock leaf and apply to the affected area for instant relief. Number 3 is one of the most deadly plant confusions in history: poison hemlock versus wild carrot. Both plants have clusters of small white flowers on tall stems. Both grow in similar open areas and roadsides. But poison hemlock is one of the most toxic plants on earth. It was famously used to execute the philosopher Socrates in ancient Greece. Here's how to tell them apart. Wild carrot, also called Queen Anne's lace, has a small purple or red flower right at the center of its white flower cluster. It also smells like carrot when you crush the leaves. The stem is hairy and green. Poison hemlock has no central purple flower. Its stem is smooth with distinctive purple or reddish blotches or spots. This is the most important identifier. The stem looks almost painted with purple markings. It also has an unpleasant musty smell when crushed. Remember, purple spotted stem equals danger. Never eat any white-flowered plant unless you are completely certain of its identity. Plant number 4 is a confusion that surprises many people: elderberry versus foxglove. Elderberry is a well-known medicinal plant used across Africa and the world for centuries. Its berries and flowers are used for immune support, teas, and natural remedies. But its young leaves and flowers can look similar to foxglove at certain growth stages, and foxglove is one of the most poisonous plants in the world. Foxglove poisoning affects the heart directly. Even small amounts can cause irregular heartbeat, nausea, vomiting, and in severe cases death. It has been responsible for accidental poisonings throughout history. Here's how to tell them apart. Elderberry grows as a large shrub or small tree with flat clusters of tiny white flowers, like a wide umbrella of small white blooms. The leaves grow in opposite pairs with serrated edges and a distinctive elderflower smell. Foxglove is completely different up close. It grows as a tall dramatic spike covered in tubular bell-shaped flowers with spotted interiors arranged all along one side. The flowers are usually purple, pink, white, or cream with dark spots inside each bell. The key rule: foxglove is unmistakable once you know it. Those spotted tubular bells arranged on a tall spike are found on no other common plant. Learn this shape and you will never be confused again. And our final dangerous lookalike is one of the most important to know, especially if you have children. Deadly nightshade versus edible wild berries. Across Africa, many wild berries are edible and delicious. But deadly nightshade produces shiny black berries that look almost identical to edible varieties. The berries are sweet tasting, which makes them even more dangerous, especially to children who may eat them thinking they're a treat. Just a handful of deadly nightshade berries can be fatal to a child. Here's how to identify deadly nightshade. It's a tall bushy plant with dull green oval leaves. The flowers are bell-shaped and purple with yellow centers. The berries are shiny jet black, growing in small clusters and surrounded by a distinctive star-shaped green calyx at the base of each berry. The golden rule with wild berries: never eat any berry you cannot identify with absolute certainty. Teach your children never to eat any wild berry without showing an adult first. No berry is worth the risk. Before we wrap up, here are the 5 golden rules of safe foraging that every Wild Table Africa viewer should know. 1. Always use multiple features to identify a plant. Leaf shape, stem, smell, flower and where it grows. 2. When in doubt, leave it out. No free meal is worth your health. 3. Never eat white-flowered plants unless you are completely certain. 4. Never eat wild berries unless you can identify them with 100% confidence. 5. Always forage with a trusted field guide or experienced forager until you build your own knowledge. Nature is generous and beautiful, but she rewards the careful and punishes the careless. Always forage safely. Knowing what not to eat is just as important as knowing what you can eat. Share this video with someone who loves nature. It could save a life. In our next video, we're going to show you how to make a simple wild plant salad from scratch using plants we've covered right here on Wild Table Africa. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. Thanks for watching Wild Table Africa, and I'll see you in the next one.